Hello and welcome to another audio analysis. In today's video we'll be taking a look at the track The End of the Contender by the English art rock band Everything Everything. This is the third track to be released from the band's upcoming 7th studio album titled Mountainhead, which is due to release on March the 1st, and it is an album that will be revolving around the concept of a society that has become consumed with the building of a great mountain. And with many Everything Everything albums, we're going to see lots packed into it, and we've already seen that with the first two tracks, doing some strong world building, story setting, and really exploring a lot of different ideas revolving around technology, society. It's something the band love to do, whilst also incorporating so many different forms of media or references to them with a lot of the lyrics they do include. So will this latest track be in contention for the title or remain an underdog? Let's take a look at exactly how it sounds.
Call the cops and tell them what I want. My battery's 100%. It all made sense. A bomb for a body, a hammer for a head. My battery's 100%. It all made sense. All your stories are about your death. The lemmings on the way to the cliff. The brain dead boys calling you a hooligan, a border even kid. The boxer with the box of all shit. The big white noise. It's all about the money now. You put the hard drive in the microwave. You antelope, you are a sack of wine. Call the cops and tell them what I want. My battery's 100%. It all makes sense. Just blame it on the empire, blame it on the empire, blame it on the empire, blame it on the empire.
So in these first three verses, there's already so much to talk about this track. Just for a little bit of background as well, this song was actually inspired by a viral video that was really big in the UK a number of years ago, about 10 years ago. It was involved an altercation between somebody on a moped and a guy in a car called Ronnie Pickering, and it all revolves around the interaction between the two of them. He was an amateur boxer in the 70s who thought he was still living in a state where everybody knew his name, and he sort of claims, "Do you know who I am? I'm Ronnie Pickering." And this guy on the moped had absolutely no idea, and this is what inspired this kind of track, because it talks about the idea of these people that have adjusted through time. Many saw Ronnie Pickering in the video as the villain, whereas for Jonathan Higgs, he kind of saw him as somebody that was out of touch with the way that the world had developed and kind of continued, because he still thought of himself as a big shot, where he's kind of a bit more washed up and didn't kind of carry, his name didn't carry the same weight as it may have done in the 1970s. So that was kind of the inspiration behind that, and we can really see that coming through on the opening of these lyrics. But it also interweaves lots of different ideas. Call the cops and tell them what I want. My battery's 100%. So it touches on the idea of this guy on the moped having the recording going and people watching that and becoming viral, and kind of people making fun of him, things like that. But it's the idea that we do live in a world where people can call the cops, get people raided and things like that, and they've always got that phone battery ready, charged up, ready to record it, go for those internet likes. And we've seen that with the band previously on most of their music, really talking about technology and the way that the world has developed and the way that it can be quite detrimental. And then we have the line, "A bomb for a body, a hammer for a head." So this is actually a bit of a link back to their album Get to Heaven, where they looked at tools and things like terrorism and things like that and really focused on that. And they do often do this in their songs, really reference back to other pieces of their music. They do all interweave so beautifully, but it also again shows this idea of looking for these destructive moments, these explosive moments to capture with your battery that's at 100%, and really just kind of aim to record the negativity that's going on in this world. So I love the way they kind of referencing so many ideas based off one concept that really inspired Jonathan Higgs. And then as we move into the second verse, "All your stories are about your death, the lemmings on the way to the cliff." So it's almost this idea of you're heading towards your death. You're kind of no longer as important as you used to be. So again, linking back to this concept and the idea of the lemmings on the way to the cliff. It's actually based on a myth that they just kind of used to overpopulate and throw themselves off cliffs and have this very self-destructive nature. And if you go around being very aggressive, that's the way that you will end up. You'll end up self-destroying, and then you'll have nothing left of your legacy almost. The idea of calling you a hooligan, a bod, a reaver git, the boxer with a box of old shit. So again, just tying back to this idea that you're not really relevant anymore, the big white noise. And I love that lyric, just this idea of you're talking as if you're still this really big important thing, but you are just this white noise, this distraction almost that's really coming across. And then if we move into the pre-chorus, it's all about the money now. You put the hard drive in the microwave. The idea that people are just looking to chase this fame to gain as much money as possible. And again, linking back to the Mountainhead idea to this point where it's the elite at the top and the people at the bottom of the mountain, the cans are the ones putting all the work in to ensure that the elite stay up where they are. So you can see them still tying in these ideas to the concept of the album. And with the hard drive in the microwave, the idea of not knowing what to do with technology. Older people struggle with computers, things like that. They may put things in the wrong place. But it can also touch on the hard drive being like your brain, memories. Your brain is being fried by this advance in technology, the way the world is developing in all these different ways, and it can be really hard to keep up with. So again, lots of metaphoric ideas that remain ambiguous to the band and have so many different applications. And in the next lyric we have, "You antelope, you are a sack of wine." And this is actually taken from the ancient Greek poem Iliad, which is all about Achilles' rage. And you can really see that. It was almost his Achilles' heel, his anger, his rage, and he did have that weakness. So you can really see that coming in, the fact that your anger can be the downfall of you or the destruction of you. So I love the way that they continue to tie in lots of different forms of media, whether it be poems, books, film, things like that. They are a band that really do make this art rock sense really fit in because of the way they include some of these links so beautifully.
It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the wilderness for me. Tomorrow is a wonderful idea. It's the end of the contender. The end of the contender. It's the end of the contender. The end of the contender. Beating time on a metronic eyes. I watch you with delight. A shining mind, oh, give me that rabbit smile. Those pretty honey's lies. Call the cops and tell them what I want. My battery's 100%. It all makes sense. A bomb for a body, a hammer for a head. My battery's 100%. It all makes sense. It all makes sense. The end of the contender. The end of the contender. The end of the contender. The end of the contender.
Another brilliant showing from the band, who really do include so much wonderful songwriting into their music, certainly coming from Jonathan Higgs. They've done it over the past number of albums, and you can really see the way that they tie in this concept of the album as well, to really put together a very strongly crafted track. And as we do move into the track, it's all about the Benjamins, it's all about the wilderness for me. The idea that the fact that everything seems to revolve around money, the idea of Benjamins being the like $100 bills almost that has been referenced in songs and things like that. Tomorrow is a wonderful idea. So really looking to continue to live into tomorrow, that it would be great to kind of continue to go forward, even despite this loss of status that somebody has suffered. So you can really just see the ideas of death and things like that. It's something they've often explored in the band's music, is these really morbid ideas, and they continue to do that throughout this one as well. And I love as we head into the bridge, feeding time, animatronic eyes are watching with the delight the end of the contender. So this totally focuses on the idea of technology, the idea of feeding time. You're not going through your social feed and you're just kind of taking in all these short videos and things like these animatronic eyes. There's no life to them. You just become like this mindless zombie, just scrolling, just watching these videos, these almost viral videos, and you're watching with delight to see the downfall of this person, in this kind of instance Ronnie Pickering, because he was painted as a villain because of the way that he reacted to something, despite living in a time where to him it kind of made sense, but to other people it kind of didn't, that were watching it through this other person's perspective. So I really do love the way they've done that over the course of the bridge. And also talking about the idea of this churning mind, oh give me that rabid smile. So again, bringing in these themes of aggression and the fact of just lashing out and not understanding today's world, kind of feeling a little bit lost at times. So really covering that very, very well. Then in the chorus we have the end of the Contender, and this is actually a great universal lyric and a really strong bouncy chorus as well that's very easy to kind of sing along to, because it focuses on the idea of everyone trying to reach fame, to really become famous. They have that point where they can be the contender who can try and take the title, but you always reach that end point where you're kind of no longer considered to be the prize fighter almost. You can look at it in so many different aspects, always chasing the idea of fame, and you have to understand that at some point you will reach that point where you're not the contender anymore. So you can really see, looking at kind of old men of an older generation, how they've maybe passed their prime and they're no longer kind of seen as this big status symbol that they may believe that they are themselves. So I love how it kind of talks about the turning of tides, the kind of continued flowing of time, and the way that people don't always adapt to these modern situations. And also the end of the Contender also kind of links in to the 1950s film On the Waterfront, which did feature Marlon Brando, about the crime fighter that kind of was match fixing and things like that, and kind of had the chance to take the title, but he was also involved in that and really exploring these ideas. So again, pulling in different forms of media as a band continue to do, to really just show their art rock stylings and do it so efficiently as they have done on this track. So there we have it, the third offering from Mountainhead. But which of the three is your favourite so far? Please do feel free to let me know in the comments section and why, whether it be Cold Reactor, the Mad Stone, or the end of the Contender. This one has definitely caught my attention. I want to go through and listen to it a couple more times just to really pick out some of the other things. There's so much going on, as there always is in most of the band's music, and that's why they are such a pleasure to really explore the depth that we do see in the lyrics, just tying to the Mountainhead concept, the idea of technology advancing, time advancing, and just the changing of the tide, and really the way that fits in with this society that's so fixated on growth, and that each song so far has really tied into different elements of the concept that they're exploring. And I love the way this has been inspired by a real life viral video that's really kind of allowed them to put this song into production and really just show some wonderful ideas that they really seem to explore so very strongly. Also, if you'd like to see more Everything content, I have covered the other two tracks from this upcoming album in previous videos, so you can find a link to those in the description of this one. Also, if you would like to see more content like this, then please do feel free to subscribe, and I will see you in the next audio analysis.